The stories of our families once told by the ones on front of the fire growing old, sharing light on the greatness they created. Everyone listening to every word, no hesitation. The pride you learned of the name you had, it taught you that you were something, never feel bad. You knew the trials and tribulations it took to make you. Your aunt, your uncle, you always knew who was who. Who was who. CPS, when they take the kids away, erase the heritage of the children they have gotten paid. These children don't know where they begin. They sure know the outcome, the end. CPS, you're destroying the family. You think you're making things better. These kids don't know who they are. They will never. In a blink of an eye, you eliminate what's theirs to cherish. There is no imminent danger great enough to annihilate the name of a family and those that it consummate. How dare you take away such an honor for you to get a bonus and arise so much drama. Our kids, their lives erased away. Never will they know who paved the way. They are left empty to never hear the story, who their grandparent were, the sad times and the glory. CPS, walk away. CPS, not today. Please, we beg you, leave the kids alone. God bless you. How do you think you are helping things out? You're causing more pain and agony, without a doubt. Why do you want to be the eraser of a family past given by the Creator? CPS, why do you play the role of God while so many families are truly breaking the law, inflicting harm throughout the night? The children are scared to turn out their lights. So go away, don't ever come back. Go away, I want my parents, that's that. I don't belong in a stranger's bed, thinking all night, memories in my head of the only love I once had. It was from my mom and dad. Now I lay alone, listening to strangers fight, never hearing the words I love you, good night. So good job, CPS, you really helped me. Now I'm scared, I'm alone, I don't know who I am. I've been cast away. If I'm lost, no one knows. There is no family to find me. CPS took that away, it's all behind me. When I go to bed every night,
I am the CPS Punisher, and I stand before you today with a fierce urgency to address the dark realities surrounding Child Protective Services. I would like to let you know that Monday through Friday I host a roundtable show at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, which is in the United States time zones. I say this only because we have teamed up with some very amazing allies across the Atlantic Ocean. They are true spectacles of word warriors standing shoulder to shoulder with us day and night. Speaking out against the injustices they are facing on their soil, they back us up on ours. We are now a worldwide fighters alliance ready to confront these challenges together. We do have the guts for boots on the ground, but right now we are amplifying our voices. We are putting the almighty pen to paper to create a bill that we must get in front of those seeking office in Congress this November. We need people to assist us in getting these documents to their respective persons for review. Sure, we are talking and raising awareness, but now we must take decisive action. Our kids are
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
We need to to stop CPS and abolish CPS.com is leading the way. Join us.
All right. We got the volume on. All right, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night CPS Victims Hunting Justice. I am your host, the CPS Punisher. Tonight is normally Josie's joining us, but she is out there on vacation. So Josie, you won't be with us, but hopefully you are with us in spirit, and you are also having a hell of a time, I'm sure. So I hope you're having a good time, even though the storm came through. And hope you and your kids and your family are doing good. So that all being said, I know that we kind of dropped the ball a little bit, guys, on this whole telling the truth thing about the stories of Malibu, Dallas, and all of that stuff. But believe you me, behind the scenes, we are still working on this, guys, and we will get to the bottom of the stories and that are going on with that. So please, stay with us for that. Yeah, Carrie, hopefully she's not swimming. Like Ashley, you're in the ocean, aren't you? Do either one of you girls want to jump in with us? Carrie, you got the link, or Ashley, you guys coming in tonight? Don't forget, guys, like, share, do all that stuff, subscribe, tell your friends to do it, tell your mother to do it, tell your brothers to do it. Whoever can like and subscribe to have his YouTube channel, please make sure that they do that. Helps us move our way up the algorithm and all that good stuff, or whatever they say about that thing and this thing. There's a bunch to be made, though. The comments, that is, out there. So please use the chat for that. Right there. Boom. There's the chat. Ashley says Sarah is coming on here, but things have been pretty crazy. Yes, Ashley, they have been crazy for so many. It must be that new moon that's coming out. But Vinny's got a lot to say today, guys. So let's get Vinny out here. He's frothing at the bit to talk here. So let's see what Vinny has to say. It's quite breathtaking, actually. So to no more avail, Vinny.
Hey, Darren.
Tell the story, my lads. Tell the story.
All right, guys. So you all know what's been going on with my case. Well, today I got wind of the jeopardy order that was done on the stepdaughter, and it stated that she plans to leave Job Corps and travel with her 37-year-old boyfriend, and CPS is allowing this behavior and allowing her to have contact with this gentleman who is over the age of 18. He has been talking to him since he was 15. And they have also been lying about my other daughter, stating that she doesn't want contact. It's not up to her. She's 14 years old. The discretion is not with her. She cannot make up her mind whether he wants visits or not. And it's just a whole rigmarole. I also have on recording that in my criminal case, my attorney admitted to me last week that they have no case. The state has no case.
Amen to that, buddy.
So this week I'm actually filing my writ of error.
You might just have to go and file a motion to dismiss, bro.
I've already filed one.
And you denied that?
That they haven't even looked at it.
Okay. So you don't know if they've tried to push it.
It's been a
so
battle.
let me understand, if you're filing a motion, If you're filing a motion to dismiss, then why do you need to write a writ?
I already filed the motion to dismiss like 2 months ago. They never looked at it. Obviously, I think my criminal attorney spearheaded it in some way because he wants to make that extra dollar. And if I find out that that's what this is about, I'm gonna have his head on the chopping block.
Hey, no violence. Chopping block of
the judicial system. I will go after him. I will go after him for making this case go on and on and on.
Yeah, that should be fraud, right, or something like that.
Is there any way you can follow up and check that it was filed months ago?
I know it was filed, Herbert, because I put a signature thing on it to track it. So when they received my motion to dismiss, it was tracked that they received it and signed for it.
Oh, so you got like a receipt or something?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That's good, Vinny. That's good. I mean, this thing just gets better and better every day for you.
It seems to, and I know
considering what you're going through.
We do have Mr. Richard watching tonight. He said he was going to be coming on. He's been watching and listening, and he thinks it's a great idea that us parents are kind of banding together and sharing our stories. He likes listening to what we have to say. He finds it helpful and useful. So Richard is in the process of trying to get the police report from when they took the kids, and he's also trying to get some other documents that are not in the share file. He's giving CPS until mid-afternoon tomorrow to produce these, and if they don't, he's going to file a subpoena. And then
he's coming on?
And then he's going to do a judicial review because they're not contacting my sister for kingship placement.
Well, why are we even talking about this now? Why are we talking about any of this bullshit when it's being proven that you aren't what they said you were? You're not that person. So this is a prime example of what a void ab initio is made for. This is put the brakes on, go into court, tell them they're all screwed in the head, put this in your court files, go get your kid back. You've done nothing wrong, Vinny.
And I've said that from the beginning, and he agreed. I've never contracted with him. He asked me tonight. He's like, would you ever want to I said no, and my wife said no either. She sent a message to her attorney today and said she's not contracted and she does not want to have a meeting with them.
Right. So I just don't. They're going through these motions, and I don't understand. It's already been 15 months, man. That's enough. It's almost like they're forcing this timetable that is expected to be for the billing and everything else for Title IV and all of that stuff. It's like they're using this as a control method, if you will, so that they can maximize their amount of money that they're going to have paid in.
I told them that tonight. I said they're creating fraud upon Title IV because they're collecting money for services that they never gave. We did our services all on our own, so they should not be getting that funding. And the fact that her daughter is refusing services and they're taking her state check as well, they're getting her SSI money. She's not. They are.
Wow. How are they able to do that?
They got a hold of SSI and told them they were responsible for her.
Right.
So they're getting her SSI check, which is over $700 a month.
So, is your attorney coming on this evening?
He's listening. He's watching the show.
Oh, I thought you said you was going to come on.
I'm trying to get Richard to come on. I'm trying, but I think he likes listening and hearing what we got to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. I hope he is. I hope he's listening. So, Richard, get this dismissal in for Vinny, man. Let's end this thing. Get these kids home. 15 months is way, way, way too long to have these kids away from their parents. Let's get these babies home so that they can start getting their life back together.
Yeah.
Also, Richard. Also,
go
I
ahead.
was going to say. Also, Richard, you could type things that we could read in terms of response. Even though you're not coming on the show, we could read your response. I just thought I'd tell Richard that.
Yes, in the chat. In the chat is what you're talking about, Herbert.
In the chat room, yes.
Yes. All right, perfect. That's good. Well, you got any new news, Herbert? What do you got for news? Anything?
Well, I sent Vinny, because I figured he'll touch bases with you. I sent him a bunch of things. So many I don't even remember. Vinny, you should have it at your fingertips.
Yeah.
Because I sent it to your text. I was doing research on stuff. I was looking at Title IV. I was looking at what they provide, what they don't provide. I was looking at some incidents where CPS was involved with a child. I sent Vinny that because I know you're very busy, Darren. So that's why I figured if I can get it to Vinny, at least he can look at it and share it with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he did send me the number of unique victims of child abuse in the United States in 2022 by state. Texas, 43,563. California, 40,083. New York, 28,845. Illinois, 20,623. Ohio, 16,217. North Carolina, 15,590. Michigan, 14,840. Indiana, 13,632. Massachusetts, 12,206. Florida, 11,046. Oklahoma, 10,525. South Carolina, 10,293. Alabama, 9,423. And I can't see what the other one is, but it's like 8,747.
Now, those numbers correspond to what? What did it say at the top?
We're on the top 5 again, Vinny. Top 5. That's the most kids in custody, right?
The number of unique victims of child abuse in the United States in 2022.
Number of unique victims.
Unique victims.
What's a unique victim? Well, what's a unique victim? Let's answer this. What's a unique victim?
I just found out that Dora is no different than Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, or other social media platforms. It's individual opinion, not necessarily factual. And Corey is a social question and answer website and online knowledge marketplace, headquartered in Mountain View, California. It was founded on June 25th, 2019, and made available to the public on June 21st, 2010. Users can corroborate by editing questions and commenting on answers that have been submitted by others.
Yeah. The reason why I sent you that, because when I was looking at stuff and research and stuff, I saw this Quora, and it had all kinds of stuff regarding CPS, but I wanted to know what is Quora. And I did research on that to find out it's just it's not even a search engine. It's just people who would talk on Facebook or on
It's an online
TikTok.
chat.
Huh?
It's just a bunch of chat rooms. That's all Quora is.
Right. It's just it's a bunch of chats. But the thing is, as you read it, you think it's factual, and it's not necessarily factual. It's people's opinions.
Yep. You always got to be careful of that. Always. That's why we always tell everybody, make sure that you do your research on the stuff that we give you.
Yeah, it's just people's. But if you read it, it sounds like it's factual, but it's not. It's just people's opinions.
But well, then what good is that? What is the unique victim? You found the article.
Yeah, well, I just sent them the article because I wanted to point out they didn't even put Maine in there. And then I did research on Maine. I sent that to Vinny, and Maine is the highest in the whole country as far as CPS stuff.
Yep, they sure are. They're not. They're the highest in the state. They're the highest in the country for abuse and neglect per 1,000 child.
That's right. Well, that's what it says. But I sent him, and Vinny has it. He has that. I sent that to Vinny, and yet on that first statistical thing, they didn't even mention Maine. So it's like they picky choosy talk about what they want to talk about.
Well, you got to pay attention to the years too. Like this one was from what, 2022, Vinny?
Yeah.
Right. So 2022, I would think that the numbers have gone up on all those states.
Yeah, I would say that you're probably right about that.
Seeing how Maine ranks the highest in the nation.
Maine ranks the highest in the nation. When I did the research on that, I did a Google, and that's what I came up with. I even did an AI on that too, and it came up with Maine again.
We are the worst in every single state. There's no comparison. Maine is very known for the corruption, and it stems pretty damn deep.
Yeah, I imagine there's a lot of the same names and a lot of the same people that have been around, you know. So.
But they talk about the abuse and this and that, and I'm still trying to search to find out stuff about CPS. And I really want to get.
What are you looking for?
Huh?
What are you trying to find?
I'm looking for somebody. I'm still trying to find. I'm working with Gail, and I'm trying to get a worker. I just want to get a worker on the show.
Yeah.
A CPS worker that could give us some information. I mean, we all talk about CPS and what they're doing to us and everything else. But I want to know, do they have a playbook? Do they have policies? Do they have procedures? So we know that maybe in some states, people are following the procedures, and in some states, they're not following procedures. So if we could get somebody on to tell us that, we'll know that Maine, for example, they're not following protocol procedures with Title IV, for example. Whereas in New Mexico, they are following Title IV. Because I know for a fact that my daughter, who has the little her niece and her taking care of the niece child, based on what I know what's going on there, that child definitely would have been picked up by CPS.
Okay.
And to this day, it has not. And yet CPS provides services. They send people to the house for therapy and everything else to help the young girl with her baby. And yet, as you and Vinny tell me, in Maine, they don't do none of that.
No, they don't.
New Mexico, they do that.
Wow, that's crazy, guys.
That's why I'm saying we gotta get. I'm working at it, but it's not easy because people don't want to be.
I mean, I think
seen
we pretty much know, right? Don't we? I mean, we pretty much know by what we see with the numbers and by what we see what's going on here that. I mean, I don't think a caseworker at this point is going to tell us anything that we don't already know. We'll get it back either as a factual thing
Well,
or if it's going to be.
well, the thing is, I want to know: is there any discretionary decisions on their part or not? In other words, they have to follow the rules and that's it, or they have discretion.
I want to say discretion, right? And rules. They're both. I think
I'm
that's
sorry.
all tied in. I think it's all tied in together, man. The discretion. They obviously have to go by the rules, but then there's the word discretion that gets tied in with it.
Yeah, well, I threw the word discretion up because of my background. I have discretion.
Yeah.
And I want to know, does CPS workers have discretion or not? Like, in other words, the judge says, you will do a, what do you call, home inspection or a, what do you call it, Darren? You go by the house?
An inspection?
Yeah, what's the word? Welfare check. If the judge orders a welfare check, that's not discretionary. CPS has to go do a welfare check.
And they don't do that in this case. They don't.
But they do welfare checks, right?
They never came. They never came to do a welfare check. When they took my kids, they're supposed to come out here with a caseworker and a court order in hand. They did not do that.
So CPS is the caseworker, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if CPS and somebody else should have came out together?
They should have come here with the police officers and never did.
Oh, okay. The police officer is discretionary. I know for a fact that's up to the individual's caseworkers. If they feel there could be a confrontation, they'll contact the police department to ask for an escort.
But
if they feel comfortable, but what I'm saying is they didn't think it was going to be a confrontation.
Right.
You see, in other words, a police officer doesn't always have to accommodate a CPS worker. No, that's discretionary up to the CPS worker. If they feel that there will be a problem talking to the parent, they will have their security guard, the police officer. If they don't feel there's going to be a confrontation, then they'll just go to the house.
But Herbert, coming from you being law enforcement, by rights, when you were a law enforcement, you worked for us. Right?
Yeah, of course I do. Yes.
You don't work for them, you work for us.
I work for you. Yes, that's correct. So I'm not sure if I understand your line of thought.
My line of thought here is that if a police officer works for the people,
yes,
we are the people, okay?
Yes.
Then the police officer is to be respectful when they show up. They were not in this case.
Okay. How were they not respectful?
Because they entered a home without a warrant or a court order and without the parents present.
I would say it's not.
Okay. So they entered the home without the parents being present? So who was at the home? Juveniles? Underage people?
My sister is the one that answered the door and let them in. And they refer to her as Mrs. Maffei. She is not Mrs. Maffei because my mother wasn't even here. She was with my wife at CPS's office.
Okay. Is your sister over 18 years old?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I can argue that because she has a mentality of a 14-year-old. Because she is borderline MR.
Okay. Would the police officer would Herbert know that if I went to the door, would I know that she has an issue? If you didn't tell me.
No, probably not.
How are we doing? What do we got going on?
Hey, I just want to say in regards to them coming, okay, law enforcement coming to a home when the parents aren't there, okay, that's exactly what happened to us, okay? 4 law enforcement officers and 1 CPS worker We've never seen a copy of this report. They said a lot of things, that they saw a lot of things, but we never seen any pictures or anything from the report. And there was no warrant to go in there. They knew where we were because they arrested us right before, but then it gets into the election campaign that day and all that, though, because that's the way that played out.
Well, Brenda, who was home? Brenda, who was home?
Just Sage and Chris, they were 10 and 12 at the time.
Okay, so when they knocked at the door, Sage and Chris opened the door.
After they called me at the jail, I used an officer's phone. Said they knocked on the door for over an hour, pounding on the door, threatening the kids that they would bust it down if they didn't open it. This was a sheriff that my husband was running against at this time, and the 3 officers also came in with Dewey Hatcher. They slammed my son's laptop shut. This is how my son described it to me. He was trying to us because he thought his computer was
Brenda, you're breaking up there.
but
You gotta fix it. You're breaking up. You start good and then you go. Blah, 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 blah.
I told my son, because I thought it was just one CPS worker, and I didn't know what CPS was in 2016. I had no idea. And I thought it was one lady who I talked to on the phone. But no, all those other people were there, and I wasn't aware of them. So they're terrorizing my children, okay?
Okay. So were your children under age? Like under 18?
Oh, yeah. Well, yes, 10 and 12.
Okay. Did your children let them into the house?
My 10-year-old did.
Okay.
After I told him it's okay over the phone. Because my kids won't do anything. They're not going to. And then they said that children couldn't sign their names. And we've always told kids, don't sign your name to anything. Don't say anything unless you have a lawyer. That's what we told our kids.
Oh.
Yeah, but they can't legally sign their names. So where was the adult in the house at the time when the police came?
There was not. They were old enough to be gone. Me and Chris were 7 minutes down the road, going to the grocery store to fill up the water at the water thing. At the water, saving money. We're filling up the water. We're getting milk and cheese for the kids. And they set up a whole sting and framed my husband right there in the parking lot of the grocery store.
Damn.
And I swear to God, if I want to tell the story, how it actually happened, there was a truckload, those trailers that carry livestock across country. It was full of pigs, and the pigs were squealing at the time. I'm like, and
okay, hold on, guys. We're gonna take a 2-minute break right here, guys. We'll be right back.
Who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stopped the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scraped their knees. Now just imagine how they mightest feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calm. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is supposed to look? Abolish CPS.
All right, there we go. We're back. Where did our people go? There we go. All right.
Hi, is that Ashley?
No, that's Chris.
It's Chris.
Oh, Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hello. Good evening. How are you guys?
Hi.
So, Chris, we've heard a lot about you.
Yes.
So here you are in the flesh.
Yep. So a few things happened today. I'm not sure. I think so. I'm in Illinois, in case nobody has heard my story before, but there was evidence produced, but they were text messages. However, I looked at the billing statement. There, it doesn't say that there was ever text messages, and this is from my husband, soon to be ex-husband, whatever you want to call him. And this isn't the first time the caseworker committed fraud, so I wouldn't put it past her. And then the parent coach that supposedly these texts are with, when she was under oath and she testified, she said that she didn't say anything about all the stuff that was mentioned in these text messages, which basically say that I went, it's so bad I don't even want to repeat it, but that I went to the city with a girl that I was and wanted to have blank with her and do blank with her all night long.
Oh my goodness! Now this is what
she showed me these. Sent it to me today, and yeah, wow,
it's bad. And but I pulled up the billing statement, and there is no communication. I know that he was in communication with my uncle, and I do see those text messages. And now I've looked through the phone calls log, and the times don't add up with because I was pulled over for a traffic violation, but it was because the plates didn't match the car, which it was under his name, even though I bought the car. So I couldn't fix it. He went to court for it twice. And third time, now they're making a big deal about it. And I was in the city. And so yeah, they're claiming like substance abuse. Although my lawyer, I told him, I said, write a message and say, if they want me to do a substance abuse assessment, ask for a parenting capacity assessment if they're saying my mental health. And they have not gotten any responses. I mean, I've done all my drafts. My drafts have never been dirty with anything. But this is the same caseworker that committed perjury, had falsified documents on DCFS letterhead stating that I tested positive for cocaine 3 times, and I never did.
Wow.
So I'm not sure. And she's in cahoots, but this parent coach, I believe it's part of a big prostitution / trafficking ring. We found something that she's connected with. They're all from different countries. They're all, the parent coach's house is in foreclosure right now. The company that the parent coach was with was dissolved on the 14th of September. So something is going on. I don't know what. I also found she was a DCFS investigator in Mississippi.
Ooh, very nice.
The parent coach.
Tell him what else you found out about. Tell him what you found out about Nancy Schaefer, Christy.
Oh, about what happened with Nancy Schaefer?
Yeah.
Oh. Which part do you want me to tell? There's so much to her story.
The
sender?
Document, yeah, what you sent me.
I don't know which one I sent.
The office you found.
Oh, I would have to go back and look. But yeah, I've gone through so much stuff today. I have to pull it up.
Well, she found an office that was. Nancy Schaefer on it.
Yeah.
It does what?
Nancy Schaefer.
I took a picture of it. It says her name right in the front.
Of what?
And that's supposedly where the parent coach's office was.
You're saying that
same office as Nancy Schaefer.
And she also worked in Georgia.
Well, Nancy Schaefer is definitely dead.
Yeah, she is.
Yep.
And there's a
So
sign.
what did you find?
So
what did you find about it?
On the front of the door, it says, like, of the building that the David A. Solutions home is supposed to be in, it has her name as, like, the person that is in that office.
There might be another Nancy Schaefer in this world. No?
I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking that
But
it could
she
be
has
another
ties in
accusation.
Georgia. She also has ties in Georgia. She has ties in Georgia. She has ties in Texas. She has ties in Mississippi. She
So
has
what
ties.
is your thoughts here? What's your thought process on this? What do you think she is?
I found out she worked for the federal government, um, doing VA stuff. She's involved in a lot of stuff. I don't know how. I don't think that she's legal. I think that they get a lot, like, they use alias names. So you have to look and like find pictures of them and fill out a FOIA request, which I do. I fill out FOIA requests for everyone, and that's how I find a lot of my information. And I put it all together, and then I track it all. And so we're in the middle of investigating and getting, because this is big. I mean, I think I'm getting kind of nervous because it could become so big that it could be something that.
I'm just okay. Lay it out to me like I'm a 3-year-old here, because I don't understand what you're trying
Yeah,
to say.
it's kind of something I think, Darren, I'd rather tell you.
I got you.
Once because it's such a big, you know what I mean? I don't want.
I got you.
It's
It could
it's
jeopardize your life.
In Indiana?
I'm in Illinois.
Indianapolis.
Illinois.
Yeah. Darren,
Yeah.
if you want to do an after show with Christy, we could do that, and I can add her in.
Yeah, we could do
Yeah,
that.
there's a lot of stuff, Darren. I know you're good at investigating stuff too. So, the more people looking into this, it's not for my case, obviously, because I mean, this goes far beyond my case. It's for the other people that this is happening to. And because this doesn't have anything to do with me. She's done. She's off my case, this lady, but it's the group of people. And it's like white collar organized crime that is so, it's bad. It's really bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's
No,
not good at
that's
all.
why sometimes, my mom would always say, sometimes the less you know, the better. But I'm not going to stop because this is people's lives, and I can't.
Illinois, you said, right? Illinois?
Yes, Illinois. I'm in the northern region.
Illinois.
You're north
I'm
of
from Chicago.
Peoria.
Yes.
You're north of Peoria, right?
Yes. I've lived in Chicago. I've lived in the south or the northwestern suburbs, and then now I'm even further north, which was a big mistake, moving even further north. Shouldn't have done that.
Is it very cold?
No, it's actually really hot out today. It's getting cold tonight, but I'm by my mom, and there's a lot of mosquitoes, so that's why. Okay.
That's right. You got visits today, huh?
Yes. She's going 9-9, my baby Kiara.
Yeah.
I love you, sweetheart. So that's why I was late coming on.
Yes, I see. Wow. Well, that's crazy. We'll talk about it in the after show, I guess.
Yeah.
So what else do we come up with?
So, Vinny, what's going on with you? Anything new on your end?
You missed that whole spiel.
Yeah, I did. I know. I'm upset that I missed.
So I'll repeat it a little bit. So CPS is allowing the daughter to talk to a 37-year-old, and in her Jeopardy order, it states that she plans on traveling around the world with him, and that he is supporting her financially.
Wait, your stepdaughter?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Wow. And do you know who he is? Wait, who is this?
Oh yeah,
guy?
I know exactly who he is and how old he is. They got it right in the criminal reports. And it states his date of birth. and he is definitely over the age of 30.
Yeah, send me his information because I could try to run everything.
I have it. Yep.
Because I pay for all like the, I don't know, and I look everybody. I do deep background checks on everybody. But you have to with these people. I mean, before you let them in, every time somebody comes in, like on Wednesdays with my newborn, the visits that I have with her, it's not a caseworker that's from my, like the Joliet office. So I make them sign in, give me a card, and then put the time in, time out, and then put their observation if there are safety concerns. And like, you know, because they're not filling out visitation reports. So I'm going to do their job for them and I'll have it submitted to the court for when we go back to court because they're saying my daughter doesn't have a bond with me and she does. So I'm doing the work
There are
myself.
studies that show that you never lose your parental bond with your child.
Yeah, and they
It's an easy one to go by.
put her with a traditional foster home instead of my mom. I mean, my mom, she's, you know, she doesn't even need the money. They don't even have to pay her, you know, and they know that. She does all the visits on Fridays. She's the only one that does the visits on Fridays. So on Wednesdays, if I get a Wednesday visit, it's somebody from the agency, but it's usually not a caseworker. It's somebody just like in the agency that does like something else. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. My lawyer's kind of waiting to see. We don't want to throw, you know, my husband under the bus at court, but he's pretty much sabotaged me this entire case and fallen for their trap. You know, when you're the only one telling the truth and everybody else is lying, you look like the liar.
Like me.
Yeah.
And Mike.
Yeah.
I've been trying
you
to
know,
prove my innocence since the start, and no one
I
wants
know.
to hear me out and listen to me.
You know, and evidence, you just have to get your own evidence. You have to do your own stuff. And whether they accept it or not, just push it. Because one thing I do know is if you appeal, you can't bring anything else. Whatever's already there as discovery is the only thing that they're going to look at. They're not going to look at anything new. So you can't bring in new evidence. So you make sure you get everything submitted before an appeal.
Yeah, you always want to make sure that when you're fighting these cases, that you're getting information in there that sticks for your appeal, even if it doesn't seem to make sense for the trial. Make sure that you're getting it into there, getting filed.
And a lot of times lawyers don't understand that. And they don't understand why you want this submitted.
Yeah, I don't think they really care because they're getting paid, and at the end of the day, they want to TPR you anyway.
Right. And I had an argument with my lawyer today about it. But
I like I told Darren and I told Herbert and I told everyone else earlier. Richard, he's watching the show. He's my CPS attorney. He is actually fighting. He put forth a letter, an email that went out today, and he blind CC'd me to it. And it stated that he was requesting the police report and the report for the initial intake. Well, they have until tomorrow afternoon to produce that report, or he's going to subpoena them. And he told me tonight that, you know, usually the supervisor he knows very well. He's worked with her quite a bit on cases. He usually is a straight shooter with him and doesn't back down. So if he doesn't reach out to him, he's gonna have a problem on our end.
Yeah, or he just gets hit with the subpoena. I mean, and see, that's kind of what the other thing that I'm gonna say is, you know, DCFS, CPS, you know, whatever it's called, they have a duty, a responsibility to document everything, services wise, like what they referred you to. Make sure that they are doing that, because I have read so many appeals that did not go through, didn't win because no fault of the parents, but there was just not enough documentation. And it's those are the saddest cases, I think. So you have to make sure that you have to make sure that they document. They do the visitation documents. They do whenever they referred you to a service, because a lot of times they say that they referred you, they don't send a referral. That just happened to me.
Oh crap. I just Carrie just sent me something. Maybe I should read it so you guys can hear it.
Yeah.
She sent me, the law specifies that unless a court has ceased reunification, a rehabilitation reunification plan must be developed and must include a schedule of visits between the child and parent. When not the criminal,
Decriminalized?
detrimental to a child's best interest. The court order may order visitations to take place after a cease reunification order when a TPR will not initiate 4041 2-B from policy section VE. Visitations under legal basis paragraph 1 and falls under Family First Act. Paragraph 5, same place and policy.
Family
Only when
first.
you are convicted can they cease all reunification. In your case, you are provided chance to rebut the accusations. Reunification is under Section D. Too long for me to type it out. Sorry.
Right.
So in Maine,
Family
that
first.
is Maine statute.
Yeah,
that there is
that's pretty
even-
similar to Illinois as well.
I have no conviction. I just have an indictment. So
Yeah,
Richard,
you're-
if you're listening still, Richard, I am required to have my visitation, Richard.
Yes, you are.
Yep, they're going to try to make him abandon Richard, so we got to stop this.
And everyone froze.
Yes, you
We
are
need to
required,
stop
Bernie.
the
Or I
abandonment.
froze.
Richard, respond into the chat section. Say something.
Oh, there's Herbert.
I'm here, but I'm just wondering if Richard could type something out and respond.
Mhm. Well, this is some interesting stuff for sure. Kind of a little chaotic tonight, but hey, whatever. It takes a little bit to do some stuff, you know? What do we got for time here? Yeah, I think we should do it. What do you think?
I'm going to send that to him, Carrie. Thank you.
You want to do what, Darren?
Let's do the last words.
There was one other thing that I found on the child welfare site today, the Child Welfare Information Gateway, about the United States putting something out with kinship and how kinship placement is, they put this, like the statistics.
What did you find, Christy?
So the statistics of kids that are placed with like relatives in a kinship placement and reunification and or less trauma, it's like 80
Everyone's
to 20.
Everyone's breaking up. I don't know why, but
It's you, buddy.
There's only one person talking.
Yeah, it's you,
So-
Jimmy.
So yeah, kinship, they are pushing for it. And I don't know if the Kind Act got passed yet. And I don't know if that's Illinois only that we're pushing it.
no, it keeps freezing. I don't know why.
It's just you, Vinny.
Vinny,
you
it's
heard
just
of-
you.
Hey, Darren, have you heard of the Kind Act?
What
The
does it
kinship in
reference
demand?
to? I did. I read something about that the other day. I'm not
Yes,
like
so
real
that's
familiar with
something
it,
Illinois passed it. That's something we push on Representative Moore. But I
The show
think they're
keeps
trying to do
freezing.
it
I don't know
throughout
why,
the
but
United States. And that it becomes effective immediately. And that's where it's their duty to find relatives, to place children with relatives, and
Darren
they
may
have
be
to
having
keep visiting
technical
it and keep
difficulties.
looking for
Maybe I don't know.
relatives to place kids with instead of traditional. And they will give kinship placement just as much money as a traditional foster placement. and
Really?
just as much support. Yep. That's what we're pushing for. And it's up to then the judge has to do it. It's so we're making it so that the judge, another thing that we're trying to pass is a list for judges to go off of when determining reasonable efforts on both the agency side and the parent side. And like only following those guidelines. Because, reasonable efforts, just like child's best interest, it's too vague. And just like neglect, it's too vague. And, neglect, that's a whole nother story. But
Yeah, that's a whole nother game right there.
yeah.
So yeah, I see here it says increase subsidies for the kinship caregivers. The bill would
Mhm.
authorize higher monthly foster care maintenance payments for relatives caring for children and was currently provided through child welfare program. It says improved access to social services, legal assistance for obtaining custody. The
Yep.
bill creates a grant program to fund legal representation and assistance for relatives seeking guardianship or custody of the children.
Which
Post
one
custody. Oh, whoops, sorry. What?
custody you want to do. So whenever a case starts, the first thing I tell people, instead of allowing the state to have custody of your kids and the judge granting custody to DCFS, you want to have a relative in there to say that's willing and able to take custody to get
Yeah.
the state out of it not having custody. So you're still intertwined with the state, with the system, or not with the court system, but the custody is not with. So like you don't have to ask the DCFS for medical, if a child can get a medical surgery done. Like my son, it took him, it was a very severe, life-threatening surgery he needed, and it was pushed 4 months because they couldn't get their paperwork in order.
Jesus Almighty.
Mhm. So
When they
That's
place
crazy.
a child with a relative, the CPS have to do a check on the relative?
they do, but with the kinship act, they give them a certain amount of time if it's an
Oh,
emergency placement, because they do allow it with emergency placements as well, like emergency temporary placements. And then they also help them get licensed.
License to
Degree.
be a foster parent?
Yep.
Okay.
I know Illinois passed it. I don't, some of it became effective immediately. Some of it becomes effective January 1st, 2025. But I know we're trying to get it everywhere in America.
That's good stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
more
it's the
support.
Kind Act.
Vincent Davis used to say that make a list of 25 people
Yeah.
that you want your kids to go for. That your kids can be placed because they're by rights or by law or whatever you want to call it. You're supposed to go down that list and interview and do a research on each one of the people that are inside of that list.
Yeah, but they don't.
Of course not. Nope. We're good. Have a good day. We're gonna still take your kid.
Yeah, Vince Davis, I followed him, but I stopped a long time ago.
Right.
I didn't. I liked Miss G. I'm not gonna lie, I did like Miss G.
Yeah.
She was good, and then the other girl that was on there too, I like her. She had a classmate bag, I believe. She's my son had a classmate bag when he was born, so um, yeah. But Miss G,
Right.
her heart's in it, man.
Yeah, she's a nice lady.
She is.
Yep.
I
Sure
know
was.
you
I had
get
a
with
good
them.
time.
Yeah, I remember. That's how I knew you.
Right. Yeah. No. Yep. No, I was with him for a while, for a couple of years.
I
We had a good
wondered where
time.
you went. I was like, where does he go? And then
Yeah.
I
Well, no,
found
I just.
you,
Yeah. No, I just decided to come out here and do this stuff on my own.
and I'm glad you did.
So yeah, me too. I am too. I get a little bit more freedom about what I can say and what I can't say, and
And you're
you know.
making more of a difference, I think.
Oh well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really cool. Thank you. Yeah. So you were in on this kinship act thing?
Yep.
Wow.
Representative Moore pushed it. We had, and there was Democrats and Republicans that were actually that sponsored it. So it wasn't only, one side or the other. It was
Both
so
sides of the aisle.
yeah.
That's really
Because
cool.
it saves it in the long run. It does save money, for the state, for Social Security, for taxpayer dollars. It works best for everybody. And I don't know, like with my mom, I don't understand. She doesn't even want to get paid. She doesn't want money from
Yeah.
them. She just wants to take care of her grandkids. So they
Right.
don't even have to pay her. They don't pay her. They're supposed to, but they don't. And
Right.
she hasn't complained once, but won't place my daughter with her.
Hmm.
So, and my
Yeah.
lawyer will not file a motion to dismiss without prejudice due to the adjudicatory hearing not being done within the statutory time frame.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I keep pushing him. I said, I'm going to fire you if you don't.
But I mean,
So,
they've done solid up to this point, right?
well, I don't know. We've only had one hearing
Right.
because it's been dragged out. They keep continuing it. I mean, my daughter is going to be 10 months old by the time maybe she gets to the adjudicatory hearing.
Wow.
And that's not okay to see her
Right.
once a week
Yeah,
since she's
that's
been
not
born. And
enough.
they took her from the hospital without.
Right. So that's where they're claiming that you've lost your bond. Then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and it's in her best interest to be with family, My mom does the
Right.
sibling visits. My mom does everything.
Well, it's in
So,
their best interest to be with mom. You, meaning you.
yeah, right. And so now
Yeah.
I have to record, like, my mom has to during visits, like record instances of like my daughter and me, like showing that we have a bond because the
Right.
agency's claiming there is no bond, that she doesn't have a bond with any of her family members and she doesn't even know
Right.
her family members, which is not true. And so we have to prove it to the court because obviously
Jesus
she does
Christ.
have a bond with her foster family,
Not
which
supposed
has,
to be you proving to the court. It's supposed to be them.
right, but they don't. And she has 10 other foster kids in her home. And you're at the maximum is 6.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
And there's 3 of them that are disabled there. And then my daughter's under 1, which actually puts her at 2 that she's supposed to have.
Wow.
So, but she's been doing this for a long time. And she's in on it too. She homeschools all the kids. It's
Yep.
takes them to protest for pro-life all the way to Springfield, Illinois.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
I mean, that's dangerous. And for my stepdaughters, that I consider my daughters that are 10, and then now my newborn as well, that's not any place for them to be. But I can't say anything.
Well, you can, but
I know, but then I get in trouble.
right.
That's why I get in so much trouble. So
That's the thing. We never stop being the parents, like that never.
and
goes
they
away.
right, and like, what do they expect of me? I'm an Italian Irish mom, Italian Sicilian Irish mom, and you want me to not get an attitude and not get crazy over my kids?
Right.
Like that side of Christy's gonna come out eventually.
Mhm.
So I
Right.
can't take that much, especially after 3 years.
Right. Holy smokes.
So
Wow.
sad, but I feel for everybody going through this, and everybody, keep fighting. Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. I know there's days you just feel like you're not going to get it. You're not going to win, and you just want to give up. You just have to know your babies are counting on you.
Right.
Don't ever give up on them.
Yep. I agree with that. That sounded like some last words to me right there.
Yeah,
Know your babies are counting on them.
they are.
How about you, Herbert? You got some last words?
Yes, as everybody can hear, CPS is no joke. They don't play around. Actually, as I'm listening, and I've been listening for over a year, CPS sounds worse than the police. I mean, far worse. And you need to learn about the system and learn how to avoid being a target of CPS. So you don't have to get wrapped up in it, because once you let CPS into your life, they don't get out.
No, they do not. All right. What do we got? Do we got Vinny coming back in here yet? Let me see.
Yeah.
Reading this stuff on this kinship. There you are.
I
All
think
right, Vinny, what you got, buddy?
With stage 4 COPD, Mr. Vinny. Smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, well. My last words tonight is this. For all you parents that are struggling with emotions and struggling with depression and anxiety because of CPS and the crap that they're doing to us, keep fighting through it. Keep pushing through, because your children are what matter in this world, not what people have to say about you.
Yeah, good one, Vinny. I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Good one. Yeah. And then my last words are going to be this. Look more into this kinship act right here. This is pretty cool stuff. I just was reading a whole bunch about it. I think you should come back on, and maybe we could do a whole show on the entirety and break that bill down if you're down with that.
Yep. I absolutely will. Yep.
Yeah, because that's a good thing, and the whole kinship thing needs to be promoted and spanned out through everywhere, because people aren't using the kinship, or they're trying to, and it's being beat down, so that these family values and family roots are being lost. So we need to gather around and really
get it approved in your state and push it.
Yeah, I'm down.
Gary,
So
make
I don't
sure
know.
you send me that link so I can send it to Christy.
Yeah, Christy, you want to be on tomorrow night with us?
Sure.
All right, cool. So Christy will come back tomorrow night.
Yep.
We'll do like let's look at this bill and let's see what it's all about.
Okay.
So,
don't forget the after show.
Okay, I know.
Yep, I got you, Vinny. Got you on the after show. That's where. Hey, that's the different type of party, Vinny.
Yep.
That's a P. Diddy joke. All right, everybody. I'm the CPS Punisher, and we are out of here. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.
Let's go.
The world getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate. Separate and segregate, don't celebrate quite yet. The storm is coming, cue for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate the values of our country. And our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on the streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour, troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, chosen just neglected, deflected by some breaking news. Oh, we just accept it, expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objectives, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, lying out of sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheap. Nah, drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition, or I'm gonna start resisting and then I pray for forgiveness.
Oh, one day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. We need you now. Oh, we need you now. One day. The truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.